Previously on Metal Monday.
And these are my picks for Album of the Year. Or album recommendations for the year. Or is it? Because there's one more band that I actually want to talk about. And that band is...
We now return to the conclusion of Metal Monday.
And the last band of 2021 that I want to talk about is... Drumroll please. Spiritbox. Now, I can already hear a lot of you elitists typing away on your keyboard saying something like,
Panda Pat's a fake fan. He talks about black and death metal bands all the time. And now he wants to talk about a heavy metal band that's basically rock music or hard rock just because there's a girl singer involved? I'm unsubscribing, you piece of shit poser.
But you know what? Honestly, I don't care. Because let me put it in this perspective. If I were a simp for this band just because of the fact that they have a chick vocalist, don't you think I would have put Ginger on here? Don't you think I would have talked about them? Or talked about something to do with Arch Enemy? Don't you think that would have been the case? No, not at all. It's the fact that Spiritbox was, to me at least, an experience. And all because of the first track I heard when I discovered them on Spotify, and it was that song. Stick around later, you'll figure out what it is. So, I'm not going to spend too much time on Spiritbox as a whole. I just want to talk about like a few of the tracks on there as a whole. I'm not going to spend too much time. There is one, with the exception of that song. I'm going to be spending a lot of time just talking about little notions of each songs that kind of stood out to me in one facet or another. Whether they're just constant earworms, which this album has way too many of, or if it's that song. So with that, let's talk about the first one, Sun Killer. Now, Sun Killer, I'm not going to spend way too much time on this, but there's a small section of it towards the end where it's like, Sun Killer, sing me to sleep. Where it's like just whispered that. It's so bizarre. Like, the cadence on that is so crazy. Before she goes into the harsh vocals aspect of that aspect. Like, the cadence on that is just very weird. Next one I want to talk about is The Summit. The Summit, I actually really enjoy, like, the chorus section of it. It's super clean. Courtney does, like, a lot of good cleans with this. It's just very melodic, rhythmatic, super, super good. I really love that. That's really cool. Next one that I want to spend a little time with is Secret Garden. And lately, this is one of the 3 earworms for me. I'll spend a lot of time at work just ever since I heard these guys. This was easily like one of the earworms for me, and it still is to this day. There's not really much to say about it. It's just an earworm, really good. Super low key, really good. Just all around really good. Next one I want to talk about is Holy Roller. And holy shit, this song goes hard. This is easily one of the hardest tracks that they have on this album. It's just bombastic. It is brutal. For a band of this caliber, like, they're not trying to do like death metal or black metal, grindcore, anything like that. But damn, for them go into this song after hearing that song for the first time, only to immediately jump into Holy Roller. Holy shit, that was a huge surprise. Courtney's harsh vocals are absolutely insane on this track, and I love in the music video itself. I love the like the difference that this has. You have Courtney on one hand reenacting like Midsummer, and on the other hand, you have like I can't, like her doing corpse paint essentially, like if she were in a black metal band. It's crazy. It's worlds colliding. It's really cool. I really like it. Next one I want to do a slight little talk about is We Live in a Strange World. For me, and I think the reason why I really like this one is because like it hits a nostalgic feel for me. When I was a kid growing up, we had DDR Max 2. We would play that all the time. And one of my favorite tracks on there was the Ordinary World remix. I don't know who did it. But for whatever reason, We Live in a Strange World reminds me so much of that, and I absolutely love it. It's so cool. I can't explain it to you, but like it just works. Next one I want to do is the massive earworm for me, and that is Circle With Me. So this one has really been stuck in my head as of late for the past like month or so. There's basically not one day where I'm not listening, where I'll pop on YouTube at work and this song just happens to show up on my feed, and I'll just pop it on just because I'm like, you know what, this track's a banger. Absolutely gonna slam into it. It's really good. And now we come to the end of this album, and it's finally time for the bulk of where this video is going to be. And I get to talk about
that song.
If you know Spiritbox over the past couple of years, you know exactly what song this is. For those of you who are familiar with that, this segment is for you that have not heard of Spiritbox. And this song is Constance. My God, this was the track that introduced me to Spiritbox. This was the one that came up on Discover Weekly on my Spotify playlist around the tail end of November. Or, excuse me, it came up like the week before Thanksgiving. And holy shit. This song was an experience. The music video itself is an experience. So before I actually talk about the song, I want to talk about why Constance hits for me. I want to get a little personal for just a sec. Earlier this year, back in February, like mid-February, I lost my grandpa. And so I have a fresh death in the family, so to speak, despite the fact I'm filming this the week before Christmas. And I didn't get to say this at the eulogy for my grandpa. I'm not gonna lie, he wasn't exactly a very easy person to open up to. Even if you were his kid or his grandkid, if you were one of his great grandkids, I think it might have been a different story. But he wasn't exactly the easiest person to open up to, and that's just because of his upbringing. But one of my favorite memories that I have with him was when I was going into 7th grade. I was 12 at the time. One of the coolest things that he did was he had his own plane, his own little plane that he bought. And our family finally just sold it. after trying to sell it for months and months and months. And he ended up letting me fly his plane for the last 60 miles from going from Chicago to Washington Island, Wisconsin, which is where I spend all my summers at. And I'm pretty sure, like, me telling that to my family members when I told them that, they were pretty jealous because they never got to do that. And it kind of makes me wish I had, like, tried to go for, like, my pilot's license, because that was really cool. That was really fun. And this is going to be a very... this has already been a hard year in my family, for sure. And, you know, this song was a good means to get out the hurt that I was having from that. Despite the fact that, like I said, I wasn't super close with my grandpa, but, you know, it was there. Which ties into what the song Constance is. The history, I need to go in the history before I talk about the instrumentation, because this song itself, with the music video attached to it, and I highly suggest getting the backstory of Constance, of how it was written and what it's about, before you watch the music video, if you have not done so already. Because it hits different. Because this song is heavy for many different reasons. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with Spiritbox, Courtney was close with her grandmother. And her grandmother had wanted her to do a song, but without what she described as screamo vocals. So, like, her harsh vocals that I was talking about on like Holy Roller and Circle With Me. And unfortunately, last year, Courtney's grandmother passed. I don't remember from what. I don't think it was from COVID. I think it was from something else. I don't remember what. But because of the fact that Courtney lives in Canada, and, you know, we have border restrictions, or had border restrictions at that time, she was unable to not only see her grandmother on her deathbed, but she couldn't attend the funeral. And it broke her heart that she couldn't do that, and she felt so bad. So she ended up writing the song Constance. Like, she had the idea on what she wanted it, but the words just weren't coming to her. And it wasn't until she met Constance's filmographer, and I don't know his name. The filmographer also has an old one, or an old an old person that they love, like a grandparent and all that. And unfortunately, his grandmother, Constance, who they named the song after, at the time of this video, is still alive, but is dealing with Alzheimer's. And the music video that they did for this paints that picture in such a perfect way. I am very fortunate that I've never experienced Alzheimer's firsthand. I don't know anyone, thank God, with Alzheimer's, but Alzheimer's is such a terrible disease. It is one of the worst things to happen to someone. I can't imagine any one of you having to deal with someone that's currently dealing with Alzheimer's. I feel for you. I cannot imagine what you and your family are going through, and how heart-wrenching that is. I can't imagine. And it's something I hope to God I never have to go through. I'm very fortunate in that at this moment. So that's the background history with it, with the song Constance, with writing the lyrics, and just what that song means as a whole. Instrumentation wise, Courtney's cleans on this track, because she doesn't have like this type of cleans on the entire album except for this song, are incredible. They are absolutely incredible. Courtney has such a great clean singing voice, and her grandmother would have been proud of this song for her. She would have been proud. Her cleans are immaculate. And there's like a really cool like rhythmatic guitar section where Courtney's like, give it up and complacent, just enough to escape it. Heretics won't faze me. Like that little guitar section that you hear when she's singing that is really, really good. It is really freaking good. Like the dude's just like going to town in the background. It's really freaking cool. And then the last little bit of part of the song that I want to talk about as far as like instrumentations go is the sections that come up directly after the chorus, because the song gets heavy, and I think that's clever. I think that was a clever thing for them to do, because after the chorus, like I said, it gets super heavy. Given what the song is about, the heavy parts of that song really just detail like the pain and anger that comes with someone who is dealing with Alzheimer's, or just dealing with someone on a deathbed, more so of like the Alzheimer's dementia perspective. It really paints that picture. It really sells that song hard. Like what it does to you and your family. It hurts, and that section of it really shows. But yeah, so that's the last band of 2021 I wanted to talk about, despite the fact that Constance came out last year. Technically, the album itself came out on my birthday, actually, September 17th of this year, 2021. It's technically cheating in a sense, because, like I said, the album did debut last year. I'm putting Constance as my song of the year. Now, Eternal Blue from Spiritbox does not get my album of the year, not by any bit necessary. It's a good album, but it's not my album of the year. Not in any way, shape, or form. But Constance was an experience. Knowing the background history of the song itself, how it's presented, and the music video especially, how that's presented, is incredible. And I'm not gonna lie, I have shed a lot of tears each time listening to it. And if you think that, if you can't handle the original version, the album version of Constance without crying, do yourself a favor and do not look up the acoustic version, because I think Spiritbox was trolling everyone in a sense by doing an acoustic version of it, because that song hits harder emotionally. I've seen people react to both songs, or both versions of the song, Constance. And they will say the acoustic version hits harder and faster, as far as like making you want to just have Niagara Falls coming out of your eyes. And it's true. I 1000%. I've experienced that myself. It's nuts. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to give a special video to Spiritbox because I'm very excited for what these guys are going to do. I don't think they've peaked. And I want to say I'm very interested in seeing what they do forward from here. And all the recognition that they've been getting these past 2 years, at the very least, they deserve it and then some. And I will absolutely be keeping an eye on Spiritbox. They deserve it. And I'm very excited to see what they do in the future. You want a fan. So anyway, that's going to do it for me. This is the final video of 2021. And if you like what I have been doing, consider subscribing to the channel, please. It's heavily appreciated. I'm very close to hitting 100 at this point in time. Follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram as well. All of those links are in my description, are going to be in the description. And that'll do it for me for Panda Pat for 2021. I will see you guys next year in 2022. Later, Gators.